Now, economists are now projecting a winter recession for Germany, saying the economy will likely contract in 2023. Well, recent figures are already drawing an increasingly grim outlook. Take a look. New data confirming an annual inflation rate of almost 8% for August. Higher prices cut into purchasing power, making it difficult for consumers to afford the same things this year that they could a year prior. Now, behind that inflation is soaring energy costs, led in particular by natural gas. Now, the European benchmark is now 3/4 more expensive than it was this time last year. Russia's war on Ukraine and Europe's response is largely responsible for that trend. Another worrying figure is the growing number of insolvencies in Germany, or the number of companies that cannot cover their own debts or liabilities. Now, that figure rose 6.6% in July from the prior month, and those are the freshest figures that we have, I should say.
Consumer Price Index in Germany, the CPI, from the September reading hit 10%, up 1.9% on the previous month. Provisional result confirmed. The rate was 7.9% in August 2022 and then surged to this high, staying above 7% for 7 months at 10% today. The inflation rate has reached an all-time high since German reunification, says Dr. George Thiel, president of the Federal Statistical Office. He states that the enormous price rises for energy products still are the main reason for the high inflation, but we also see price increases for many other goods, especially food. The end of both the fuel discount period and the €9 ticket availability also accelerated the price rises in September 2022. These temporary measures of the second relief package had a downward effect on overall inflation for June to August 2022. The Federal Statistics Office, the Status, also reports that in September 2022, the CPI increased markedly by 1.9% compared with August 2022. German inflation unexpectedly accelerated for this month, following a trend already seen, says an article from Bloomberg. France and Italy will increase pressure on the European central banks to raise interest rates even as a recession looms. Consumer prices in Europe's largest economy rose 11.6% from a year earlier, far exceeding all estimates in a Bloomberg survey whose median forecast was 10.9%. Comparable rates were last recorded in the early 1950s in West Germany. Inflation in Italy, meanwhile, surged to 12.8%, way ahead of all estimate. France surpassed expectations too, with a 7.1%, and I will definitely make 2 separate individual videos on each country, guys. Bear with me. I'll have them done this November. Guys, all we can do is get more information on Germany right now. This country is in trouble, and we need more content. Editor, roll clip, fair use.
Germany's statistics office said economic output was driven mainly by private consumer spending. But data showed Friday the country still faced problems with high inflation and energy issues. Consumer prices were up 11.6% on the year in October, higher than analysts predicted. The key IFO Economic Institute warned the full effect of inflation had not yet hit consumers. Energy prices have also surged due to a plunge in energy imports from Russia. That has driven concerns of a potential gas shortage this winter.
The German government is vowing rapid cash assistance for small and mid-sized companies facing massive energy bills this winter. The German economy minister meeting today with industry groups from across the country. They've been pressuring Berlin for help as energy prices soar to record heights, leaving them unable to pass costs along to consumers. Some firms are already lowering production. Industry leaders are meanwhile warning of growing insolvencies. Now, take a listen to the words of economist Katharina Unterbohl. I asked her what kind of winter German businesses were about to face.
I think this winter we will see the German economy slipping into recession. This is inevitable. Inflation is just too high so that consumers will close their purses and not spend during the winter. Money will have to be kept in order to pay energy bills. This is a main concern, of course. And then we also see industry shutting down production, given these sky-high energy prices. So this is going to be a sharp recession at the turn of the year, and next year it's going to be a muted recovery because the Damocles sword of the gas supply gap is not going to go away anytime soon.
A sharp uptick in the number of German firms beginning insolvency proceedings is raising eyebrows in Europe's largest economy. Some 762 firms declared bankruptcy in September. Now, that's a 34% increase from the same period last year. and the upward trend is set to continue this month and the next. That's according to the Hala Institute for Economic Research. According to their new report, by November, up to 40% more companies could be beginning insolvency proceedings compared to the same period last year. Now, the report blames not just a lackluster economic outlook, but an aberrant period during the COVID-19 pandemic. That's when insolvency numbers actually fell.
The International Monetary Fund is warning that over a third of the world economy is headed for contraction this year or next. China, the Eurozone and the United States will continue to stall. The IMF says this year's shocks will reopen economic wounds that were only partially healed post-pandemic. Its World Economic Outlook shows growth withering from 6% last year and 3.2% this year to just 2.7% next year. One factor is that central banks are hiking interest rates to ease inflation. That's taking the heat out of domestic demand. But of course, you've also got the war in Ukraine. It's sparked an energy crisis. It's also blocked food supplies, driving up prices. And there's China's zero COVID strategy that's hit trade hard. It also faces a property market crisis.
Hey guys, it's Jose, your regular Joe Blow again, keeping an eye out and my ears open. And unfortunately, guys, more and more bad news.
That is bullshit.
For the East keeps coming our way, and this administration loves to simp outside the USA, and that makes me worry. So many problems here, but no one is doing anything. You got to keep an eye out to universal current events, because it will affect our livelihoods. So guys, and I'll keep pumping out information on these countries failing left and right, and we will continue to move forward and fight with our dollars. Keep preparing, keep prospering, guys. Thank you for the support always. Stay free.